A Karthanian Symbiote Wolf leapt from the shadow of the neon-lit alley, its black fur glistening with iridescent streaks of bioluminescence. Time slowed as it descended toward the metallic baby carriage abandoned on the rain-slick street. The city of Talvoria. Seven shivered under a violet sky streaked with the debris of ancient starships, wreckage floating like tombstones among the clouds. The wolf landed with a soft thud, claws sinking slightly into the alloy of the carriage, and the air vibrated with the low hum of its alien heartbeat. No one expected what happened next. A flash of blue fire erupted from the symbiote as it fused briefly with the carriage, and the cover of the carriage was thrown open by an unseen force. A small human infant stared up, eyes wide, calm, and impossibly alive. Galactic agents, their suits flickering with scanning lights, arrived in seconds, but the moment they saw the child, every one of them froze. Every instinct they possessed screamed danger, but the human infant emitted an aura of something else, something that made weapons feel fragile and fear feel irrelevant. The agents whispered to one another, voices laced with awe and disbelief. "This is not possible," one of them said. "Humans cannot." "Humans always surprise," another finished quietly. A young human, Lieutenant Cale Draven, lunged forward without hesitation. His boots slammed against the wet streets, sending sparks from the hidden magnetic stabilizers, and he scooped the child in the carriage with unflinching precision. He could feel the energy pulsing from the infant, a resonance that seemed to synchronize with his own heartbeat. The symbiote wolf circled him, eyes glowing, sensing the human strength, the raw courage that even centuries of alien evolution could not match. Cale's senses screamed as he scanned the surroundings. The alleys were crawling with Karthanian hunters, their chitinous armor shimmering under neon lights. The city's ancient ruins, remnants of civilizations that had perished before humans mastered interstellar travel, radiated strange gravitational waves that tugged at every living being. The symbiote wolf hissed, a sound that shook the very walls, warning Cale of a predator lurking beyond sight. Cale did not hesitate. He vaulted over a fallen hover truck, narrowly avoiding the snapping claws of a hunting drone. He pressed a hand to the infant's chest, feeling the pulse of life stronger than any synthetic life form he had ever encountered. A deep, resonant voice echoed in his mind, the symbiote communicating with him without words. "Protect. Survive. They will try to take." Cale nodded, understanding perfectly. Galactic agents scrambled, weapons trained on the alley, but Cale's team, humans born on harsh colonies, moved with precision, agility, and cunning that no alien intelligence anticipated. Energy blasts lit up the alley as Cale used the environment to his advantage, flipping debris to block incoming fire and diving behind ancient, jagged stone remnants from a civilization long lost to time. The symbiote wolf leapt onto the nearest wall, claws sinking into metal, and emitted a low growl that destabilized nearby drones. Cale knew they would come in greater numbers, but the human mind thrived under pressure, adapting faster than any alien protocol. He whispered to the infant, "You chose the right species to be with." A sudden ripple of power surged from the infant, blasting a group of pursuing hunters backward, leaving their armor twisted and useless. The agents looked on in shock. Their scanners could not explain the energy signature, but Cale understood instinctively. The infant was more than human, yet fully human in essence. Every corner of the galaxy knew humans as fragile creatures, yet here, on this rain-soaked, neon-lit battlefield, humans proved that courage, ingenuity, and refusal to yield could overcome any threat, no matter how ancient or impossible. Cale darted forward, the symbiote wolf at his side, and together they vanished into the labyrinthine alleyways of Talvoria 7. The alien hunters regrouped, reporting to their command. Yet even they whispered in awe. Humans, they adapt too quickly. They endure, they evolve under pressure. They fight like no other species. And far above, orbiting ships from distant empires adjusted their strategies. They had underestimated humans once. They would not make that mistake again. But Cale knew the universe had only just begun to test them. The infant stirred in his arms, cooing softly, and a faint glow surrounded them, illuminating the dark city streets like a signal, a warning, a promise, and a challenge all in one. Humans had arrived, not just to survive, but to prove that the galaxy had underestimated them at its peril. Every shadow now had a threat, every whisper carried danger, Yet Kale smiled, a quiet, unwavering confidence shining in his eyes. The symbiote wolf nuzzled the infant, recognizing the bond forged in fire and lightning, and together they would face the impossible. The agents did not understand it yet, but humans were no longer prey. Humans were a force the universe would never ignore. And the moment the first strike came, it would be the humans who dictated the rules. The city trembled with distant explosions as Kale ran, the symbiote wolf leaping beside him, and the infant's glow intensified, revealing fragments of an ancient power no alien had yet deciphered. Every step, every heartbeat, every thought carried the singular truth of humanity. Survival was not enough. Humanity thrived. Humanity endured. Humanity conquered the impossible. The rain-slicked streets glimmer with shards of broken hollow signs, each reflecting the infant's radiant glow as Kale sprinted to the labyrinth of Talvoria 7. The alleyways twisted like veins, some narrow enough to force a full-grown Karthanian hunter to contort awkwardly to follow. Kale's boots struck the metal grates, sending sparks flying into the misty night, every sense sharpened, every neuron firing in perfect harmony. He could hear the faint hum of grav drones, smell the acrid smoke of burning circuits, and feel the subtle vibrations of the city beneath him. The symbiote wolf moved like liquid shadow, muscles coiled, senses tuned to Kale's every move. Above, the neon sky burned in hues of violet and orange, the shattered remnants of orbiting satellites casting jagged shadows that danced across the walls. The city felt alive and hostile at once, a maze designed to trap prey and test hunters, yet humans thrived in chaos. Kale ducked beneath a falling sign, just as a volley of plasma bolts hissed past, slicing into the walls where the sparks from wet metal danced like fireflies. The infant's glow pulsed with the rhythm of the universe, tiny hands reaching out as if drawing energy from the city itself. "They cannot comprehend us," Kale whispered, voice low, almost reverent. "They see fragility. They cannot see resilience." The symbiote wolf growled, ears flat against his head, sensing movement above. A massive Karthanian glider descended silently from the rooftops, wings humming with anti-gravity resonance. Its pilot, a veteran of countless planetary campaigns, had calculated every probability, except for one: human unpredictability. Kale seized a moment, vaulting onto a rusted air conduit, grabbing the infant close, and rolling across the wet rooftop. The symbiote wolf leapt beside him, claws anchoring into the metal surface as the glider swerved violently, plasma bolts shredding the air where Kale had been moments before. He reached the edge of the roof and glanced down at the streets below. A convoy of alien enforcers blocked every exit, their armor plates reflecting the neon glow in jagged patterns. Human ingenuity thrived in such moments. Kale scanned his options, and his mind raced faster than the glider engines above. With a precise kick, he dislodged the vent cover and grabbed the emergency harness of an old hovercart, sending it tumbling into the convoy. The impact caused a chain reaction. Explosions and sparks lit up the alley as the aliens scrambled to respond. Humans had learned to fight with environment, wit, and courage, not just raw strength. The symbiote wolf howled, a sound that resonated deep into the metal bones of the city, momentarily scrambling the alien sensors. Kale felt the wolf's thoughts merge with his own, an unspoken plan forming. They were a unit, instinct and intellect intertwined, ready to face impossible odds. From the shadows, ancient ruins of the once great Talvorian Empire loomed. Cracked spires, etched with glyphs that pulsed faintly with cosmic energy, rose like silent witnesses. The energy tugged at Kale, the infant responding with a soft glow that mirrored the glyphs' patterns. Something old and powerful stirred in the city, something that had not awakened in millennia. Kale adjusted his course, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, eyes on the glowing patterns beneath. The convoy below attempted to cut him off, but humans anticipated movement, predicting probability not by machines but by instinct honed through generations of survival on harsh colonies and war-torn worlds. The symbiote wolf bounded beside him, a perfect counterbalance to Kale's leaps. Its black fur shimmered in the rain, each muscle a living weapon. Kale glanced at the infant, who reached out instinctively toward the nearest glyph, sending a pulse of energy that hurled two alien enforcers backward with violent force. The agents were not used to this. They recalculated constantly, but humans were the variable no algorithm could account for. Every decision Kale made flowed naturally, seamlessly integrating with the environment, his team instincts sharper than any AI could mimic. He landed on a narrow ledge above a chasm of broken structures. Below, a river of molten metal ran like liquid fire, a remnant of Talvoria 7's industrial age. Kale leapt again, the symbiote wolf propelling him with uncanny strength. They reached an overhanging balcony just as a Karthanian glider swooped down, attempting to corner them. Kale did not flinch. With a swift motion, he activated a pulse grenade, the concussive shockwave throwing the glider off balance. It spun wildly, firing blindly as Kale slid along the balcony railing, landing behind a ruined wall. Humans had mastered adaptation under pressure. Aliens could calculate speed and trajectory, but they could not calculate instinct. The infant gurgled, hands glowing with energy, and Kale realized the true magnitude of the situation. This child was a key, a catalyst of power that could awaken ancient technology scattered across the galaxy. They could not allow it to fall into alien hands. The universe would challenge them at every turn, but humans had the courage to face impossibilities head-on. Kale's communicator chirped. A human reconnaissance ship hovered just beyond the city perimeter, its engines invisible to alien sensors. "Lieutenant Draven," a calm voice said, "we are in position. Extraction window is 90 seconds. Can you reach the perimeter?" Kale's mind raced. 90 seconds would not be enough if the aliens adapted quickly. He scanned the alleyways below, spotting an abandoned transport crane with hydraulics still functional. With a nod to the symbiote wolf, he leapt down, landing on the crane's platform. The infant's glow intensified, resonating with the machinery, activating systems that had been dormant for centuries. The crane surged upward, carrying Kale, the symbiote wolf, and the infant above the alien forces. Plasma fire licked the metal structure, but humans had learned to turn tools of industry into weapons of survival. Kale adjusted the trajectory, guiding the crane toward the extraction point while the symbiote wolf lashed out at pursuing drones, claws slicing through alloy and circuitry. Agents watched in disbelief. Humans turned the city itself into an ally, bending structures, machines, and raw instinct into a coordinated assault. The infant cooed again, the glow forming intricate patterns, creating an almost tangible shield of energy that absorbed incoming fire. Kale reached the extraction point with seconds to spare. The human reconnaissance ship descended, magnetic clamps securing onto the crane. He handed the infant over to the ship's pilot, then leapt aboard, the symbiote wolf following, fluid as shadow in the dim cabin light. As they ascended, the city below erupted in chaos. Alien forces scrambled, but humans had vanished with impossible efficiency. Every scanner, every algorithm failed to predict their actions. Every weapon misfired in frustration. Humans thrived where others faltered, turning fear into strategy, danger into opportunity. The infant rested in Kale's arms, glowing softly, its energy harmonizing with the ship's systems. Kale felt a profound sense of awe. They were not just surviving, they were defining a new epoch. The universe underestimated humans for the last time. Above, the remnants of Talvoria, 7 stretched into space, stars piercing the violet sky, ancient cosmic anomalies visible even from orbit. Kale realized that the galaxy was vast, filled with threats, secrets, and powers that no human could fully comprehend. Yet humans had a gift no alien intelligence possessed: the ability to endure, adapt, and rise beyond limits. The symbiote wolf pressed against Kale, sensing the shift in the cosmic balance. "They will come," it communicated silently. "Greater threats, ancient powers, impossible odds." Kale nodded. "Let them come. They have not faced humanity yet." The reconnaissance ship jumped into hyperspace, leaving the chaos of Talvoria 7 behind. But the universe was waking, ancient forces stirring at the resonance of the infant's energy. In the corridors of distant alien empires, alarms blared, commands were shouted, and analysts scrambled to understand what had transpired. Humans had snatched a child, a key, and vanished without a trace, turning the most heavily defended city in the sector into a proving ground for courage, intelligence, and unparalleled resilience. Kale turned to the symbiote wolf. "We are just getting started. This universe underestimates humans. We will show them strength. We will show them ingenuity. We will show them survival at its purest. The wolf's eyes glimmered like molten metal. They will learn or they will perish. Kale smiled, a mix of exhaustion and unshakable resolve. Humans had never been the strongest by size or by alien standards, but humans had heart. Humans had spirit. Humans had the audacity to face impossibilities with clarity, strategy, and courage. Outside the viewport, stars stretched into streaks as the ship entered hyperspace. Kale held the infant close, feeling the energy pulse in tandem with his own heartbeat, knowing that the child's survival meant humanity's future influence across the galaxy. The symbiote wolf settled beside him, a silent guardian, understanding that they had become more than allies. They had become symbols of what humans could accomplish when facing threats beyond imagination. Galactic agents in orbit, alien empires far across the stars, and ancient powers stirring in long-forgotten worlds would learn one truth. Humans did not merely survive. Humans conquered, adapted, and endured where no one else could. And as hyperspace tore the universe into streaks of light and color, Kale knew the galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of an era shaped by the audacity, intelligence, and unbreakable spirit of humanity. Every shadow would hide danger. Every star might conceal a predator, yet humans would thrive. Humans would fight. Humans would define the impossible. Hyperspace roared around a reconnaissance ship, stretching the stars into blinding ribbons of light. Kale leaned against the console, eyes fixed on the infant cradled in his arms. The tiny being radiated an energy he could feel even through layers of reinforced armor, a pulse that resonated deep in his chest, syncing with his own heartbeat. This child, Kale muttered to the symbiote wolf, which crouched at his side, ears flicking to every vibration in the hull, is more than survival. This is evolution, intelligence fused with power. Whoever controls this, he paused, letting the thought settle, controls possibility itself. The wolf's glowing eyes met his, unspoken agreement passing between them. Danger awaited everywhere. Aliens, ancient forces, and the remnants of long-dead civilizations hungered for power, yet humans always carved their path through impossibility. The ship jolted violently as an energy wave collided with the hull, sending sparks dancing across the deck. Kale grabbed the console for balance. "Ambush?" he asked. "Not conventional," the wolf replied, thoughts like currents in his mind. "They sense. They hunt. They do not wait." Kale's fingers danced across the controls, engaging defensive shields, diverting power to the magnetic dampeners and forward thrusters. Humans did not panic. Panic was for those who lacked vision. Kale had trained for chaos, for threats beyond comprehension, and for moments when the universe itself seemed to defy logic. Outside the viewport, streaks of light bent unnaturally. A vessel emerged, massive, its hull carved with alien runes that pulsed with violet energy. The ancient Talvorian glyphs on Talvoria. Seven had reacted to the infant, and now the energy seemed to summon others, sentinels older than empires, aware and hungry. Kale's jaw tightened. "We fight smarter, not harder. Prepare countermeasures and ready the boarding drones." Humans never relied solely on brute force. Every tool, every environment, every moment of danger was a weapon to manipulate. The symbiote wolf hissed, stretching along the deck like liquid shadow. "They will breach the hull. We cannot rely on flight alone." Kale smiled grimly. "Then we make the battlefield where we want it." He initiated the ship's emergency jump protocols. But not to flee. Humans never fled if a choice existed to fight strategically. The ship veered toward a nearby nebula, thick clouds of gas and debris that could scramble sensors, distort gravitic readings, and hide movement. The alien vessel pursued relentlessly, firing beams that ripped through space with lethal precision. Yet Kale had anticipated this. He triggered the ship's adaptive camouflage, weaving the hull into the nebula's colors and patterns. Humans could turn any environment into an ally, using ingenuity against impossible odds. The alien ship faltered, unable to track them fully. Kale's hands moved with purpose, calibrating gravitational fields around the hull to create microeddies in the nebula, further disorienting the pursuers. "Lieutenant," a voice crackled over comms, belonging to the reconnaissance fleet. "The nearest safe point is the Proxima Rift. It is heavily monitored, but you can use it as cover. Kale considered, calculating every probability. We do not go through the rift. We go over it, take the high vector, and let them chase what they think is escape. Humans are never predictable. The symbiote wolf's ears twitched. They anticipate. They adapt. And we adapt faster, Kale replied. Humans have always done that. The ship surged, engines straining against gravitational currents. The infant stirred in Kale's arms, the glow intensifying as if responding to the universe itself. Power, intelligence, and life intertwined in a small human form. Kale could feel the resonance radiating outward, bending the ship's systems to respond instinctively to danger. Suddenly, the nebula shivered with unnatural force. Waves of energy, ancient and raw, slammed against the hull. Kale staggered, the symbiote wolf pressing close. Sensing the threat. "This is older than any star," Kale murmured, voice low. "This is before empires, before the first sentient intelligence. And yet it recognizes life. It reacts to human presence." The infant's glow flared, and Kale realized the truth. They were no longer being chased merely by alien ambition. They were being observed by forces that had shaped the galaxy, ancient entities that had slumbered for eons. Humans, fragile yet audacious, were waking something older than the known universe. Kale activated the ship's energy dispersers, projecting waves that countered the nebula's interference, stabilizing the hull. Humans did not rely on raw power alone. They relied on thought, on rapid adaptation, on instinct sharpened by survival. The alien pursuers surged forward, drawn toward the infant's energy. Kale's mind raced. He could not let them reach the child. Every second counted. He triggered the ship's microsingularity drive, a maneuver so dangerous it tore space-time around the vessel. Few had survived such a jump. Humans thrived where others feared. The stars stretched, twisted, and flared as the ship vanished from the nebula's chaos, reappearing light years away near a desolate system once dominated by the Zyrelian dynasty. Ancient satellites and ruins floated in orbit, silent witnesses to civilizations that had fallen to hubris. Kale exhaled slowly. "We buy time, not safety," he said. "Humans survive by thinking ahead, predicting what no one else can see." The symbiote wolf padded across the deck, tail low but tense. "They will follow. You cannot hide power of this magnitude." Kale nodded. "Then we show them why humans are dangerous when cornered. This universe will learn, and it will learn quickly." He activated the ship's reconnaissance array, scanning the Zyrelian ruins. Energy readings spiked, resonances that mirrored the infant's glow. The ruins pulsed with ancient systems long dormant, responding to the human presence. "Humans awaken what others fear," Kale whispered. "We survive, we adapt, and we dominate situations no one else dares confront." Suddenly, the ship shuddered as a gravitational rift tore open nearby. Shadows moved within the rupture, colossal shapes, vessels older than recorded history, their designs alien in ways that bent comprehension. Kale's pulse quickened, excitement and adrenaline intertwining. Humans thrived under impossible odds. He gripped the console, recalibrating shields to match the rift's unpredictable physics. The infant cooed, reaching out instinctively, and the glow formed a barrier that distorted gravitational waves, bending the oldest vessel sensors. Kale realized with awe that humans, in their essence, had become an unquantifiable variable, impossible to predict, impossible to control. "Prepare boarding drones," Kale said calmly. "We take the fight to them if they approach." Humans do not cower. We adapt, we strategize, we survive, and then we prevail. The symbiote wolf crouched, ready to leap into action. Your instincts, they are primal and yet calculated. Humans are formidable. Kale smirked. "We have always been. They just forgot." As the ancient vessels drew closer, the ship accelerated through the derelict ruins, using debris as cover. Kale anticipated every trajectory, every potential collision. The boarding drones launched, small, agile, designed for precision strikes. Aliens boarded the vessel, expecting humans to react with panic. Instead, Kale used the environment to his advantage. Walls, bulkheads, and magnetic conduits became traps. Energy fields pulsed in tandem with the infant's glow, disorienting and disabling the attackers. Humans fought not as individuals, but as extensions of their environment, their intelligence, and their instincts. They turned impossible odds into advantages, improvising in ways alien technology could not counter. Kale leapt, the symbiote wolf at his side, taking down attackers with precision strikes, coordinated maneuvers, and instinct-driven decisions. Every alien realized too late that humans were not fragile, not predictable, and not to be underestimated. The infant's glow expanded, resonating with the ship's systems and surrounding ruins, creating a protective aura that repelled further attacks. Kale knew this was only the beginning. The universe would test him at every turn. Ancient powers would rise, and empires would converge. But humans had an advantage no alien could predict: audacity, intelligence, adaptability, and unyielding courage. As the last alien intruder fell, Kale stood amidst the chaos, holding the infant tightly. The symbiote wolf circled, sensing that this was a pivotal moment, that humans had demonstrated their essence. They survived, they adapted, and they conquered what others could not. Outside, the derelict Xyrelian satellites hummed with ancient energy, seemingly aware of the infant. Kale understood the truth. This child was more than survival, more than power. It was a key to unlocking secrets older than stars. Yet humans, with their ingenuity and courage, were the ones who would wield it responsibly. Kale looked out the viewport, stars stretching infinitely, each a potential threat, each a potential ally. Humans had no fear of the impossible. Humans thrived within it. Let them come, Kale said quietly, voice steady. Let them bring the galaxy's oldest horrors. Humans will endure, adapt, and show the universe what true strength is. The symbiote wolf pressed close to him, a silent vow echoing between them. The infant stirred, glowing brighter, as if acknowledging the unspoken promise. Humanity would define the rules of survival, intelligence, and courage, a universe that had long underestimated them. The reconnaissance ship glided through the void near the Xyrelian ruins, its hull humming with the infant's energy. Kale stood at the viewport. The symbiote wolf coiled at his feet, eyes scanning every glimmer of light for movement. The galaxy was waking, ancient eyes now turning toward humanity, and Kale understood one truth with crystalline clarity. Survival alone would not be enough. Humans had to shape the battlefield, outthink the predators, and define their own terms. A flicker in the energy readings drew Kale's attention. The derelict satellites shifted, forming a pattern that defied random chance. Something stirred within them, sentient, patient, and immensely old. This was not mere alien curiosity. This was judgment. The infant cooed, small hands reaching out, and Kale felt the resonance. The glow intensified, casting the cabin in hues of blue and violet. Sensors went haywire, warnings flashing across every console, but humans did not panic. Humans calculated, adapted, and acted with precision under pressure no machine could predict. Kale tapped a series of controls, activating the ship's gravitic stabilizers to align with the energy currents of the ruins. The vessel tilted, floated, and rotated as if swimming in invisible tides, human ingenuity turning an unfamiliar and dangerous environment into an advantage. "They will test us," Kale muttered, voice low. Ancient power does not relent. It challenges, it probes, it destroys what it cannot understand. The symbiote wolf growled softly. They sense the child. They understand the potential. They will strike soon. Kale nodded. Then we give them a demonstration they will never forget. Outside, the first of the ancient sentinel vessels emerged from the shadows of the ruins. Massive constructs, hundreds of meters long, covered in glyphs older than human comprehension, thrummed with energy that bent space around them. Their sensors locked onto the infant's energy signature. Kale's mind raced. Every action had consequences. Every misstep could be fatal. He activated the ship's adaptive shielding and deployed an array of boarding drones, each programmed with improvisational AI modeled on human tactical ingenuity. Aliens could predict patterns. Humans could rewrite them in real time. The first energy beam struck the ship, bending space around it. Kale twisted the hull, channeling the infant's energy into the shields. The impact reverberated through the vessel, but it held. Humans could endure, and humans could turn damage into opportunity. He looked at the symbiote wolf. We cannot run forever. They follow patterns. They calculate probabilities. But humans do not rely on probability. Humans rely on ingenuity. The wolf's eyes glimmered, understanding the strategy forming in Kale's mind. Then we engage them on our terms. Kale activated the ship's cloaking resonance, a risky maneuver that distorted sensors and light around the vessel. To the ancient sentinels, the ship vanished, leaving only the faint echo of energy behind. Humans had always thrived in the unseen, exploiting what others could not perceive. They navigated through a dense cluster of derelict satellites, weaving through debris with agility unmatched by the colossal vessels pursuing them. Every move was precise, calculated in real time, yet fluid, instinctive, and impossible to predict. The alien constructs followed blindly, crashing into obstacles and triggering residual energy traps left behind by civilizations long dead. The infant stirred again, small hands glowing, and Kale realized something profound. The child was not passive. It was interacting with the universe itself. Power responded to intent. Kale's own heartbeat synchronized with the infant's energy, a feedback loop amplifying both strength and perception. Humans had always turned their environment into an extension of themselves, and now even the cosmos seemed to respond. A ripple of gravitational distortion erupted from the nearest sentinel vessel. Kale's ship pitched violently. Lights flickered. Sensors screamed. The symbiote wolf growled, claws digging into the deck. "They test for weakness," Kale said, voice steady. "We give them none." He deployed a network of drones into the rift, each one small, agile, and semi-autonomous. They launched micro-explosions that altered gravitational fields around the sentinels, disrupting propulsion systems and throwing off calculations. Humans had mastered the art of improvisation. Machines worked when people guided them with creativity, not protocol. The sentinels adjusted, massive forms weaving through debris, but Kale anticipated every move. He directed the ship through a narrow rift between two satellites, impossible by conventional navigation standards. The infant's glow pulsed with resonance, bending space slightly, allowing the vessel to pass where physics should have prevented it. The sentinels could not follow. Massive, deliberate, ancient, and powerful, they could not adapt quickly enough to human ingenuity. Kale smiled a sharp, precise motion, knowing they had created their own advantage. But the respite was brief. From deep within the ruins, something larger awoke, a presence so immense that the very fabric of space seemed to shiver. Energy waves slammed into ship from every direction, testing shields, sensors, and nerves. Kale's heart pounded. This was the apex of the ancient power they had unwittingly provoked. Most species would have fled, but humans thrived in such moments. The symbiote wolf pressed close to Kale, communicating silently, a bond forged in trust, danger, and understanding. This entity is conscious. It perceives your survival, the child's essence, and your will. It tests intent. Kale nodded. Then we show a human resolve. He activated the ship's micro-singularity projectors, creating controlled distortions to manipulate local gravity. The infant's glow synchronized with the distortions, amplifying their effect. Sentinels were thrown off balance, colliding with one another and creating chaotic feedback that tore through their circuits. Humans did not rely on raw force. Humans relied on precision, adaptability, and the courage to confront the impossible. Kale's crew of one, himself, the infant, and the symbiote wolf, turned near certain death into a strategic triumph. A surge of energy from the awakened presence enveloped the ship. Kale gritted his teeth. "Hold the line," he muttered. "Do not falter. This universe will test us, but humans endure." The infant's glow flared, forming a shield of resonance that pushed back against the ancient entity's energy. Kale felt the vibration through his bones. The cosmos itself responded to human courage and ingenuity. Ancient power met human will, and for the first time in millennia, the galaxy's oldest entity hesitated. Kale seized a moment. He piloted the ship through a dense ring of derelict satellites, using their mass to create gravitational turbulence. The ancient presence struggled to track them. Humans had exploited not just technology but physics itself, improvisation and intellect bending reality within reason. The symbiote wolf leapt across the deck, activating auxiliary energy emitters, amplifying the infant's field. The glow expanded, interacting with the ship, satellites, and even the ancient presence. Kale realized the child was not only powerful, it was a conduit for human potential, amplifying ingenuity, strategy, and courage to a level the galaxy had never witnessed. Sensors indicated multiple energy signatures approaching. Alien fleets, drawn by the resonance, were converging. Kale's mind raced, processing probabilities, outcomes, and contingencies. Humans thrived not on certainty, but on adaptability. He initiated the next maneuver. The ship spun, deploying decoy drones into intersecting trajectories. Energy beams were reflected, refracted, and absorbed. Ancient constructs collided, miscalculated, and became trapped within their own gravitic distortions. Humans turned chaos into order, exploiting confusion with elegance and precision. The symbiote wolf's form shimmered, senses attuned to every vibration, every energy pulse. It moved with Kale as one entity, instinct and intellect unified. Together, they were more than survival. They were apex strategy incarnate. The infant stirred again, small hands outstretched. Energy surged outward, creating a field of influence that stabilized the ship and projected a defensive barrier around the decoy fleet. Kale's calculations confirmed it. Humans had not only survived impossible conditions, but had created an advantage out of raw danger. This is what the universe does not understand, Kale whispered, voice steady against the hum of engines. Humans are not the strongest, not the fastest, not the oldest, but we are cleverer, more adaptable, more audacious than any predator. We survive because we do not rely on probability. We create possibility. The alien fleets recoiled, sensing the infant's energy and human ingenuity. Ancient power hesitated. The galaxy, for all its danger and mystery, had underestimated humans. Kale smiled grimly, and then, through the chaos, a transmission broke through. A voice, deep, resonant, older than most star systems, spoke directly into Kale's mind. Human, you defy expectation. Why do you persist? Kale did not flinch. Because we endure. We adapt. We fight when all odds are against us. And because we do not yield, the universe has no choice but to respect our strength. The presence pulsed, energy waves rippling across space, testing the assertion. And for a brief moment, Kale felt the unthinkable. The universe itself pausing, acknowledging the audacity, intelligence, and courage of humanity. The reconnaissance ship accelerated, weaving through debris, past the trapped alien fleets, and into the outer rim of the system. Kale held the infant tightly. We are far from safe, he murmured. But we have shown them humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans prevail. The symbiote wolf pressed close, senses vibrating with energy. This is only the beginning. They will learn, but it will be painful for them. Kale's eyes narrowed, staring at the stretching stars. Then let them learn. Humanity has never faced an impossible challenge. It could not turn into triumph. Let the galaxy remember that lesson. The infant cooed, small hands glowing, and Kale knew with certainty that the universe had changed. Humans had proven once again that courage, intellect, and audacity could overcome even the oldest and most impossible powers. Hyperspace unraveled behind the reconnaissance ship like torn silk, streaks of light whipping past as Kale pushed the engines beyond standard limits. The infant's glow pulsed rhythmically, harmonizing with the ship systems, bending even the laws of local physics to their advantage. Humans did not merely survive in impossible conditions. They redefined them. The symbiote wolf moved like liquid shadow across the deck, ears flattened, eyes scanning for vibrations beyond the limits of the instruments. Kale could feel its mind syncing with his own, forming a seamless tactical bond. Together, they were more than pilot and guardian. They were a unit capable of anticipating threats that no alien algorithm could predict. Ahead, the stars twisted unnaturally, as if space itself recoiled from what was approaching. Kale recognized the signature immediately. An ancient vessel, colossal, constructed before recorded time, its hull inscribed with glyphs older than light. It moved deliberately, a predator that had watched civilizations rise and fall, waiting for a moment of vulnerability. They have adapted to hyperspace tracking, Kale said softly. We cannot evade them forever. The symbiote wolf's claws scraped across the deck, resonating with a low hum. Then we make the battlefield ours. Humans thrive where others fail. Kale's fingers danced over the console, initiating a complex series of maneuvers designed to exploit every conceivable weakness in the ancient vessel. He did not simply dodge or flee. He created scenarios where physics, environment, and human ingenuity merged into weapons. The ship twisted into the gravity well of a nearby neutron star. The infant's energy field stabilized in the hull against tidal forces that would have crushed any other vessel. The predators followed, massive forms distorted by intense gravity. The stars themselves seemed to bend around Kale's ship as he executed a sequence of impossible jumps, slingshotting around debris and gravitational anomalies. Humans had always excelled where adaptation was the only path to survival. Suddenly, the infant's glow surged, pulsing outward like a heartbeat of the cosmos. Kale felt the resonance in his bones, the subtle manipulation of energy around him, and he realized the truth. Humans did not merely survive. They could influence the fundamental forces around them when they leveraged intellect, courage, and audacity. The colossal ancient vessel fired energy beams calibrated to disrupt matter at subatomic levels. Kale twisted the ship, channeling the infant's resonance into the hull's adaptive shielding. The beam struck, fracturing plasma fields, yet the ship remained intact. The infant cooed, hands glowing, as if acknowledging the threat and responding with intent. Kale activated auxiliary drones, sending them to the field of debris surrounding the neutron star. Each drone projected localized gravity distortions, colliding with the ancient vessel's targeting systems, forcing it to recalculate. Aliens relied on probability, on patterns, but humans thrived on unpredictability. The symbiote wolf leapt onto the control panel, claws skimming across holographic displays. Its senses augmented Kale's, predicting energy surges and stress points. Together, they turned the infant's energy into a weapon of improvisation. Humans did not merely react. They transformed the environment into a battlefield tailor-made for survival. The ancient vessel roared with energy, its hull fracturing slightly under the gravitational turbulence. Kale seized the moment, piloting through a narrow accretion of debris, using the neutron star's intense gravitational pull to accelerate beyond conventional speed limits. The alien vessel followed, slower, massive, and unadaptable in the moment-to-moment chaos humans created. Kale's communicator crackled. "Lieutenant Draven," a voice said urgently, "the fleet from the Varelian sector is converging on your coordinates. They cannot comprehend the infant's energy. They will underestimate you, temporarily." Kale's lips curved into a grim smile. "Then we give them a demonstration of why humans define the impossible." The ship surged through the stellar currents, weaving past asteroids and gravitic anomalies. Kale anticipated every motion, not with probability, but with instinct honed from generations of survival, war, and exploration. Humans excelled where calculation alone failed. A Varelian fleet emerged, sleek and deadly, scanning for the energy signature. Kale diverted a micro-singularity wave to misalign their targeting, sending missiles careening into the dense asteroid field. The fleet faltered. Humans had no fear of impossible odds. They turned every obstacle into an opportunity. The symbiote wolf pressed against Kale, sensing a deeper disturbance in the cosmos. Something older beyond their fleets, it murmured in thought. Responds to the child's energy. It tests the intent. Kale nodded. Then we show a human ingenuity. He maneuvered the ship toward an ancient orbital structure, long abandoned but still functional. The infant's glow resonated with dormant systems, activating them in unpredictable ways. Energy beams flickered across the station, projecting decoy signals, environmental hazards, and defensive grids that synchronized with the ship's movements. The alien fleets could not adapt fast enough. Massive ships collided with debris, energy shields overloaded, and Kale used the chaos to accelerate past them. Humans did not rely on numbers. They relied on creativity, speed of thought, and audacity. The ancient presence shifted, a gravitational pulse that rippled through the system, testing their resolve. Kale felt the tension in his chest, the resonance of the infant's energy synchronizing with his own. Humans did not cower from overwhelming force. They adapted, leveraged, and prevailed. He deployed the ship's auxiliary drones directly into the path of pulse, redirecting energy waves and creating temporary feedback loops that destabilized the ancient vessel's propulsion. Humans were not the strongest in raw power, but no species could outthink them when pushed to the brink. Kale's mind calculated trajectories, energy dispersions, and gravitational anomalies in real time, while the symbiote wolf augmented perception and prediction. Every motion was fluid, precise, and impossible to counter with conventional methods. The infant stirred, and Kale felt a sudden surge of energy. The glow expanded, projecting a shield that enveloped the ship and drones, repelling the ancient pulse and destabilizing enemy sensors. Humans could turn instinct into power and courage into survival. From the shadows of the orbital ruins, unknown vessels emerged. Ancient guardians of technology lost to time. Their energy was raw, unrefined, but immense. Kale knew this was a test, not of strength, but of will. Humans could adapt to impossible odds in ways that no other species could. He activated the ship's emergency warp drive, threading through narrow channels of debris and gravitational eddies. Each jump was a calculated risk, but humans thrived on audacity. The ancient entities followed, struggling to predict maneuvers dictated not by protocol, but by instinct, intellect, and sheer determination. Kale's voice was steady, almost serene. The universe tests humans, and humans rise. Every challenge, every impossibility, is a proving ground. They will learn our strength, and they will learn it quickly. The symbiote wolf pressed close to the infant, sensing its resonance amplify the ship's systems. Kale realized the child was not passive. It was a force multiplier, magnifying human ingenuity, strategy, and adaptability across the battlefield. Suddenly, a colossal vessel, older than any recorded empire, emerged from a nebula's edge. Its sheer size dwarfed the orbital ruins. It projected gravitational distortions designed to crush conventional ships instantly. Kale's mind raced. Humans did not confront odds blindly. They used intellect to turn disadvantages into weapons. He initiated a series of controlled microsingularities, redirecting the colossal vessel's energy pulses back toward itself. Ancient technology collided with modern adaptability, creating confusion among the oldest sentinels in the galaxy. The infant's glow flared again, interacting with the ship, drones, and microsingularities. Kale realized with awe that humans, in their essence, could manipulate even the oldest forces of the universe through courage, intellect, and audacity. The colossal vessel faltered, its systems momentarily disrupted. Kale smiled grimly. Humans survive by thinking where others fail. We prevail where others perish. The symbiote wolf hissed in agreement. They will learn, but it will cost them. Kale's eyes hardened. Let them learn. Let them remember why humans endure, adapt, and dominate when faced with the impossible. The reconnaissance ship surged through the debris-strewn battlefield, weaving past alien fleets, ancient constructs, and gravitational anomalies. Humans had turned chaos into an ally, danger into strategy, and impossibility into triumph. And in the center of it all, the infant glowed, a beacon of human potential, a living proof that courage, intelligence, and audacity could challenge even the oldest and most terrifying forces in the galaxy. Kale whispered, voice steady and resolute, "The universe has underestimated humans. It will not make that mistake again." The symbiote wolf pressed close, senses attuned to every shift, every pulse, every danger. Together, they moved as one, carrying the infant and humanity's promise into a galaxy that had never before faced such audacity. The stars stretched infinitely ahead, threats lurking in every shadow, mysteries in every system. But humans did not fear the impossible. Humans thrived in it. Humans prevailed. And the universe, vast, ancient, and dangerous, had just begun to understand that human courage, intelligence, and adaptability could rewrite the rules of survival itself. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, streaked with the remnants of hyperspace jumps and shattered fleets, but Kale did not falter. The reconnaissance ship, battered yet resilient, carried him, the symbiote wolf, and the infant to a region of space older than any star chart had recorded. Here, the echoes of civilizations lost to time lingered, and the very fabric of the galaxy pulsed with ancient energy. Kale studied the readings. Every sensor screamed a warning. Every algorithm predicted annihilation. But humans did not rely on calculations alone. Humans relied on intuition, courage, and audacity, the ability to see opportunity where others saw only doom. The energy's signature, it is converging on the infant, Kale said, voice calm but firm. Whatever comes next, it seeks control. We will not allow that. Humans do not yield to power. They master it. The symbiote wolf's fur bristled with bioluminescent light. Its senses detected the subtle gravitational ripples of a presence far beyond anything they had encountered. Older than the cosmos. Observing, testing, judging. It recognizes intent. It has noticed humans. Kale gritted his teeth. Then let it see exactly what humans are capable of. They entered the heart of the ancient region. A sprawling field of floating monoliths, immense structures carved from obsidian-like material, etched with glyphs that seemed to shift and shimmer as if alive. The infant's glow intensified, resonating with the structures, and Kale felt the subtle currents of energy interacting with his own nervous system. It was as if the galaxy itself responded to human resolve, bending to the will of the audacious and the brave. Suddenly, the void trembled. A colossal presence emerged, a silhouette against the starlight that dwarfed any ship, any fleet, any being in recorded history. Its hull pulsed with energy, alive and aware, and when it moved, stars themselves seemed to ripple. The ancient entity had awakened fully. Kale tightened his grip on the controls. This is it. The universe has sent its greatest test. Humans will rise. The symbiote wolf snarled, its eyes glowing like molten metal. Every instinct tells me to flee, yet you do not. Humans are unpredictable, formidable. Kale's response was calm, measured. We do not flee. We endure, we adapt, and we conquer. Energy waves radiated outward from the colossal entity, warping space-time, threatening to tear the ship apart. The symbiote wolf pressed close to Kale, synchronizing with his movements, while the infant's glow formed a protective sphere around them. Humans had learned to thrive in impossible conditions, turning adversity into advantage. Kale deployed all remaining drones, each designed with improvisational intelligence, capable of predicting and countering ancient defense systems. They spread out, weaving through the energy currents like living extensions of the ship. Every motion precise yet fluid. The entity unleashed pulses of power meant to overwhelm, to destroy, to erase, but humans adapted instantly. Kale twisted the ship through a narrow corridor between two colossal monoliths. Energy beams from the entity sliced the air where the ship had been moments before. Humans survived where calculation alone would fail. Instinct and intellect combined, turning impossibility into triumph. The infant's glow flared violently, pulsing outward, interacting with the monoliths and surrounding energy field. Kale realized with all that the child was not just powerful. It was a catalyst. The resonance amplified human ingenuity. Every strategy executed with an almost preternatural precision. Humans were not just surviving, they were shaping reality. The colossal entity reacted, releasing a surge of energy that warped the monoliths, creating cascading gravitational anomalies. Kale adjusted the ship, weaving through the distortions with fluid mastery. Every decision was instinctive yet deliberate, a blend of survival, intellect, and courage that alien intelligence could not anticipate. The entity seemed to recognize the human approach, recalibrating, shifting energy, probing weaknesses. Kale smiled grimly. Humans thrived under observation. Humans turned scrutiny into advantage. He activated a sequence he had reserved for the most critical moment. The micro-singularity matrix combined with the infant's resonance. Space bent subtly around the ship, altering trajectories of the energy waves. The colossal presence faltered, its systems disrupted, its vast intellect challenged by the audacity and creativity of a single human pilot with an infant and a symbiote wolf. You see, Kale said softly, humans endure, humans adapt, humans conquer. The entity pulsed, immense energy cascading in all directions, yet could not destroy the ingenuity, courage, and adaptability of its adversary. Kale guided the ship through the shifting maelstrom, the symbiote wolf moving with him, a shadow and a guardian. The infant's glow acted as a conductor, amplifying every maneuver, every improvisation, every instinct. Then came the critical moment. The entity released a wave intended to obliterate everything in the immediate vicinity. Kale calculated the trajectory, the timing, the energy dispersal, and took a risk that no algorithm would have sanctioned. He synchronized the ship's micro-singularity projectors with the infant's resonance and the surrounding monoliths. The resulting reaction was cataclysmic, yet controlled. Energy waves reflected and refracted unpredictably, cascading through the entity's systems, overloading its calculations, and creating openings where none should have existed. Humans, Kale realized, were not merely surviving. They were defining the terms of engagement against an ancient cosmic intelligence. The entity recoiled, massive pulses of energy rippling across its hull, yet it did not destroy them. It seemed to study, to recognize, to understand. Humans had achieved something unprecedented. They had forced an ancient power to acknowledge their capability, their courage, and their unique approach to survival. Kale felt a surge of triumph. Tempered with caution. "We have shown them the human spirit," he said. "We have proven what no algorithm can calculate, what no ancient entity could anticipate. Humans are not the weakest. Humans are not the predictable. Humans endure, adapt, and triumph." The entity emitted a low, resonant pulse, a communication older than words. Kale understood instinctively. Respect, acknowledgement, and perhaps even a warning. The galaxy itself had watched as humans, with courage, ingenuity, and audacity, overcame a challenge that should have been insurmountable. He guided the ship back to the orbital monoliths, now stabilized by the infant's resonance. The symbiote wolf followed fluidly, its form shimmering with understanding. Together, they moved as one, a unit of human resolve amplified by alien symbiosis. Kale looked down at the infant. "You are more than a child," he murmured. "You are proof of what humans can do when they refuse to yield. The universe will remember this day." The ship broke free from the gravitational turbulence of the ancient ruins. Stars stretched into the distance, calm and eternal, and yet Kale knew that this victory was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and ancient, but humans had claimed their place. They had proven that courage, intelligence, adaptability, and audacity could turn impossible odds into triumph. Communications from the reconnaissance fleet confirmed the aftermath. Alien vessels, some ancient, some modern, had withdrawn, their algorithms unable to process the human ingenuity they had witnessed. Human audacity had imposed strategy upon chaos, intellect upon raw power. Kale exhaled slowly. "We survived, yes, but we also showed the universe what humans are capable of." The symbiote wolf brushed against him, a silent affirmation. "They will not forget this. Humans are exceptional." The infant cooed, small hands reaching out, and Kale felt the resonance settle into a steady rhythm. Humanity, fragile yet audacious, small yet formidable, had proven its essence. Humans had endured impossible odds, had adapted where others could not, and had triumphed where no one expected them to. Kale's gaze swept across the stars. The galaxy would always hold threats, mysteries, and challenges beyond comprehension. But humans had a legacy of audacity, ingenuity, and courage that no ancient power, no alien empire, no cosmic entity could ever ignore. "This is only the beginning," Kale said, voice firm. "The galaxy will challenge us. It will test every instinct, every strategy, every ounce of courage we possess. But humans, we do not yield. We survive, we adapt, and we triumph. And we will never stop proving it." The symbiote wolf pressed close to the infant, eyes reflecting the star-streaked viewport. Kale felt an unshakable certainty. This bond, this unity of human courage and ingenuity, would shape the galaxy's future. As the reconnaissance ship soared into the uncharted expanse, Kale realized something profound. Humans were not defined by fragility or size. They were defined by spirit, intellect, and a refusal to surrender. Every challenge, every impossible obstacle, every ancient adversary could be faced with audacity and triumph. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, each a challenge, each a potential battlefield, yet humans would endure them all. They would confront impossible odds with creativity, courage, and unyielding determination. And wherever the galaxy hid threats, wherever ancient forces lingered, humans would rise. Kale looked down at the infant once more. "We are not just survivors. We are architects of possibility. We are humans, and the universe will learn to respect that." The symbiote wolf growled softly, a deep rumble of agreement. The glow of the infant radiated through the deck, illuminating Kale's face, reflecting in the stars outside, a symbol of humanity's unbreakable will. And in that moment, the galaxy understood something it had never comprehended before. Humans were not prey. Humans were catalysts of change, masters of adaptation, an embodiment of courage and intelligence in a universe that had long underestimated them. The ancient entity receded, leaving the region silent yet forever marked by human ingenuity. Alien fleets recalculated. Empires whisper humans, and the stars themselves seemed to acknowledge that a new force had emerged. Kale exhaled, the tension of impossible survival, fading into calm determination. "Let them come," he said softly. "Every challenge, every threat, every impossible odds. We are ready. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans triumph." The infant gurgled, small hands outstretched. Kale smiled, feeling the resonance of future victories, future triumphs, and the indomitable human spirit. The ship surged forward into uncharted space, the stars stretching endlessly before them. Humans had proven their essence. They would endure, adapt, and triumph, no matter the obstacle. The galaxy would never underestimate them again.